Good morning, my fellow Americans. 2 evenings ago, I was there to see the House overwhelmingly pass once again the Small Business Jobs Protection Act. The package has almost everything that I would have supported. But now I feel like I got one more piece of legislation I want to try to have passed before I leave office, if possible. If not, by the end of this year. That being said, the Small Business Job Protection Act is being moved to the Senate and is blocked into at least two committees: the Senate Appropriation Committee and the Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship. Now, if I might say so myself, this bill could have passed faster and gotten it into the hands of the president, were it not for this battle of the budget. Now, a lot of journalists are throwing the banter back and forth. It's the president's fault. It's Congress's fault. I'm going to say that it's Washington's fault. Washington is broken. And even though I know many people would like to see me run again, I'm happy to once again say no. My first duty is to my wife and family once I am done with this position. There are plenty of other fine people that can run. That's what I have to say. I do have hope that a cousin of mine, second cousin of mine on my father's side, will someday receive the hope of running for Congress. Now I will answer 10 questions that have been fielded to me on the internet. Jewel Heed asked me this. She is from CBNC. Mr. Hendrick, did you ever have any doubts about the paternity of your son, JR? Let me just say this. There's no doubt. And please understand that I will further decline to comment on any issues concerning my personal life. Miss Betsy and I have been through enough on that one. Here's another question, and this is from Hank Johnson from the Fort Worth Times. His question is, would you recommend the Jobs Protection Act be speeded through the Senate and land on the president's desk? To that, I might say and give a resounding yes. There's no excuses, no exceptions. What's going on is idiotic. And I know the legislation that I have proposed and that Republicans worked on won't receive much fanfare in mainstream journalism and in the Clinton administration. Here's another question by a good friend of mine, radio show host, and also the lead commentator with the Fort Worth Times, Andrew House. He asked this: Jim, You've wanted to put in supportability for small business because prominent people in the state of Texas want it put through the House. Do you see it as a possibility? I have to say this, a resounding yes. Now, I didn't know this until last night. My wife Betsy and I, we looked over the sky of Wheeling, West Virginia, and she told me that she saw in one of the papers that supportability for small businesses passed the House. However, the Senate will not open it up for discussion until the 19th of August. I'm hoping it passes and passes quickly. However, I doubt it will. What does this provide? This supportability legislation for the tax cuts, grants and aids to businesses where the owners want to make residual income. All right, so we've covered 3. Let's cover another question. John Hanson from Ranger News asked me, Jim, can you predict what will happen economy-wise if Clinton wins the election? Let me say this. At this point in the game, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The Republicans, if they stay strong, they can keep the economy strong. People call Reagan the Teflon president. It's possible to happen with Clinton. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Question number 5. And this is from Emily Bond of CBMC. Mr. Hendrick, how do you think your wife is going to keep up mentally with you on the legislation you want passed? Don't be fooled. Betsy may want a private life, but she lives and breathes politics the same way that I do. She gets it from her daddy. She keeps up with current events. You better believe she does. She watches the news. She reads the newspapers. My family likes to keep current. So yeah. And what does it matter whether she keeps up with the legislation I support or not? The fact is we love each other very much. And I'm hoping someday we can return to our family once and for all. Here's question number 6. And this is from Ben Eppertine. This is from the Wheeling Post. Mr. Hendrick, why is it that you decided not to run in '96, knowing that the poll said that if you was to run, you would beat Clinton? Here's why. I'm not popular all over the place. There's some Republicans who supported Bush that I know would not support me. Let's just leave it at that. Number 2, as I reiterated, I spoke to my wife Betsy. She desires for me not to pursue any more political power, but to return home to Texas to pursue my business interests and look after my family's best interest. All right. Question number 7. And this is from Jack Henderson from the Arlington Times. Jim, is it true that a week from today you may speak at a rally for the Reverend Isaiah Friedman? I have yet to receive an invitation, but you better believe if called upon, I will. Now, granted, I know if we have to come back to that, Miss Betsy is going to fade into the background. She don't want no more pictures of her taken by the press. She wants to be left alone, if you know what I mean. All right. Question number 8. And after this, I'm only going to answer 2 more questions. This is from Jack Hill from Hill Press. Survey paper. Jim, Mr. Hendrick, why is it that you want to retire before the election? This is so I can make up my mind, make decisions that need to be done. I don't feel like I can support any candidate as long as in the presidency, as long as I'm in the White House. I always got one more question. Does that mean that you support Clinton? And that question, the answer to that is no. One final question, and this is from Ernest Boggs from the Wheeling Press. Mr. President, Mr. Hendrick, do you think that the Republican Party's particular goal stands on the family values ticket? I have to say this. If he does, he's pretty weak at it. Now, I've said my piece. I want to get back to my wife and my vacation. Thank you.